This is one of the hottest watches at the moment. As a consequence, this is a sold-out watch that scalpers try selling at huge premiums, yet one of you will get it absolutely free of charge. This is the Casio MTP-M305. I never had a Casio and I probably never will. However, despite not being a fan, I can understand why so many people love them. Everyone can afford a Casio, and being accessible and packed with functions means many of today's watch collectors' first watch was probably a Casio. Let's just ponder a number: 50 million. 50 million F91W watches have been produced since the model was launched in 1989, making it the best-selling watch in the world. On the back of this huge success, the Japanese brand managed to increase its footprint in the watch industry, with G-Shock, Baby G, Protrek, Edifice and Oceanus lines being responsible for a revenue of $1.1 billion last year. The huge success of what became known as the Casio seems to have slowly opened some eyes in Tokyo. Executives at Shibuya-ku took a while to realize they can add a new flavor bordering copyright infringement to the mix of nostalgia, good build quality, and affordability that had already won over millions of customers. So 2023 began with a relaunch of the MTP-1302, a very poor man's Datejust. Initially available on an inconspicuous grey, the fluted bezel watch made of tin finally created hysteria once the Tiffany blue was added to its dial. Let's be honest, this is a tacky design for a shoddy watch, but that meant nothing for the bargain hunters who flocked in droves to add another must-have to their collection of must-haves. Now, just in time for the back-to-school shopping frenzy, Casio came up with a new quote-unquote quirky design joke aimed this time at the reigning champion of smartwatch sales, the Apple Watch. So, how much of this is Apple and how much is Casio? The case's dimensions are identical to Apple's smaller sized watch in the 4, 5 and 6 editions, 34 by 14 mm, which means that apart from moving the crown at the traditional 3 o'clock position and creating traditional lugs for the 20 mm bracelet, the case is almost a doppelganger for the smartwatch. This, however, is an all-polished case, which makes me look with regret at the snap-on case back, as its vertical brushing is of nice quality and might have suited the watch better. The crown's modest proportions become a hindrance, especially as you'll see when setting the day-date complication. Before moving to the dial, let's take a look at the bracelet. This model can be purchased with an assortment of straps and bracelets, and the 20mm between the lugs gives it the capability of being dressed up or down. I opted for this bracelet as I believe it's the best fit for this type of TV dial. Unfortunately, while looking good and pinching only a tiny number of hairs, this bracelet is let down by a very rudimentary clasp that provides little in terms of comfort and even less when it comes to looks. This being a watch I will gift, I didn't try taking the bracelet off and swapping it out of fear of scratching the lugs. Finally, moving on to the dial, there seems to be little Casio DNA. Fans and objective reviewers often boast about how Casio is one of the few brands calibrating a quartz watch second hand that's capable of hitting all markers. Well, this particular one fails to do so, even despite having only 12 targets to aim at. Speaking of the applied markers and the hands, their shiny polished finish helps them be extremely proficient at catching the light, giving this watch very good legibility under what seems to be AR-coated mineral crystal. This black variant is actually the least legible of the bunch, but I chose it for its looks, not for its tool watch capabilities. The simple Casio logo sits right under the only numbered marker on the dial, above the two sub-dials dedicated to the day-date complication. And here's where the crown's tiny size becomes detrimental to the user's experience. Not only is moving the hands tedious, but the day indicator has no quick set position, which means you can only set it by going a full 24 hours for each day. And this is important. Don't be me. Set the day before the date so you won't have to reset the latter. The reason there's no quick set position for the day is, of course, the moon phase complication. Besides keeping track of fertility windows, I've never quite understood the utility of this complication, but I have to admit it looks great. The color scheme of the recessed 58 clicks dial does a nice job of breaking the austerity of the dial just above the two lines of text announcing this watch can be worn while washing hands. Finally, a few words about availability. I bought mine from Creation Watches in Singapore for $115 plus tax, the most expensive of the 6 variants. Unfortunately, at the time of recording this, they're all sold out and I couldn't track one down anywhere else. Let's just hope Casio are better at restocking than Timex. I'm obviously referring to the Timex Waterbury Chrono I reviewed back in January that still is quite hard to find despite great interest from potential buyers. So, despite being a watch I like, to me it is just too much of an homage, so I have to find a new wrist for it, hence this giveaway. The criteria to participate is this: 1. Be a subscriber. 2. Like the video. 3. Comment on the video. 4. Share the video on any social network or forum. Step 5 is, once you shared the video, to do a screenshot of the post and to send it together with a link and your YouTube handle to whatyowantreviews@gmail.com. I will reply to your email with your seeding number, then, once my channel will hit 1000 subscribers but not earlier than October 1st, I will do a live stream during which I will use a random number generator to draw the winner. Good luck and thank you for giving me the chance to gift you the what you want.